Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the invisible and kind of wild world of cybersecurity.
All right, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at the internet's basic magic trick, how it even finds anything. Then, we'll meet the heroes and the villains of the hacking world. After that, we'll break down their go-to attack methods, figure out how to build our own digital force field, and finally, we'll see why this whole cyber battlefield matters to every single one of us. Ready? Let's jump in. So, before we can even talk about breaking things, we've got to understand how they're supposed to work. And it all starts with something you do a dozen times a day, just visiting a website. Understanding this simple process is really the key to everything else. I mean, it feels instant, right? Like magic. But in that tiny little split second, what's really happening is your computer is basically shouting a question into the vastness of the internet, hoping to get a very specific answer back. See, your computer doesn't understand Google.com. It only speaks in numbers. So think of the internet like a giant city. You know the name of the store you want to go to, but you need the street address to get there. That's exactly what the domain name system, or DNS, does. It's the internet's phone book. It's GPS, translating the names we remember into the numbers computers need. So it's this little four-step dance that happens in like the blink of an eye. Your browser asks, hey, where can I find this place? The DNS server looks it up, gives the address, and your browser is on its way. This simple conversation is the invisible engine that makes the web work.
Okay, so what happens when someone decides to mess with that simple, elegant system? Well, that's hacking. But here's the thing, the word hacker isn't nearly as black and white as you might think. Let's get into the different shades. So what's the difference between a cybercriminal and a cyber hero? You know, it really just boils down to two things, permission and intent. Are they trying to break in to cause damage, or are they just testing the locks to see if they're strong enough? So think of it this way. Black hats, they're the burglars. They're looking for an unlocked door or an open window so they can steal stuff or just cause chaos. But white hats, or ethical hackers, they're the security experts you actually pay to try and break in. They show you your weaknesses before the bad guys have a chance to find them. And then you've got this middle ground, the gray hats. They're kind of the wild cards. They might stumble upon a security flaw, and they'll tell the owner, but they're doing it without an invitation. It really blurs the line between being helpful and just plain trespassing. All right, we know the players. Now let's open up their toolkit and see what they're working with. These are some of the most common ways they try to get into the systems we use every single day. Oh, you've definitely seen these. It's that urgent email from your bank or that weird text about a package you didn't order. That's phishing. And it's so darn effective because it attacks us, our trust, not just our computers. One wrong click and poof, you've handed over the keys. Here's a tip. Always hover your mouse over a link before you click it. You'll see the real address it's trying to send you to. And if you want a perfect example of just how much damage phishing can do, look no further than WannaCry. We're talking about a single email campaign that caused billions of dollars in damage, shutting down hospitals, businesses, you name it, all across the globe. This one is actually pretty clever. Imagine you're trying to trick a company's filing clerk. Instead of just asking for a public document in the search bar, you phrase your request in a very specific, tricky way that fools the system into giving you the keys to the entire restricted filing cabinet.
And DDoS? This is just pure brute force. It's like organizing a massive flash mob to block the front door of a store. A whole army of hacked computers, a botnet, floods a website with so much junk traffic that real customers just can't get in. The site just grinds to a halt. Okay, I know, that was the scary part. So with all these attacks out there, how do we actually fight back? It's not hopeless. Let's talk defense and how you can build your very own digital force field. A firewall is basically the bouncer for your network. It stands at the door and checks the ID of every little piece of data trying to come in or go out. If anything looks shady or isn't on the list, it gets denied. Simple as that. Your password is the key to your digital front door. And honestly, it might be the single most important defense you have direct control over. A strong one isn't just long, it's a random jumble of uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and symbols. The weirder and more complex it is, the tougher it is for anyone to guess or crack. But it's not just about passwords. Think of antivirus as your system's detective, constantly sniffing out known criminals. A VPN is like your personal armored car. It encrypts your connections so no one can snoop, especially when you're on public Wi-Fi. And those annoying software updates? Do them. They're patching up the holes in your castle walls that hackers are actively trying to sneak through. So why does any of this matter? Because this isn't some abstract battle happening in the cloud. It has real, tangible consequences for our privacy, our money, and even our future careers. And check out this number. It tells a really powerful story. The demand for people who know how to defend our digital world, for white hat hackers and security pros, is just exploding. It shows that there are incredible opportunities for anyone who wants to be on the front lines of this fight. And here's the biggest takeaway. You don't need to be some pro hacker to be part of the solution. Every single time you create a strong password, every time you spot and delete a phishing email, you're winning a small battle. We're all in this together, and our daily choices really do make a difference. So I'll leave you with this one final thought to chew on. As all this tech gets woven deeper and deeper into our lives, is our biggest weakness the technology itself, or is it just our own human nature? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.